Audio's on. I think it's the right audio anyway. Check, check. Check. Check, motherfucker. Check, motherfucker. No, we are seriously here up at Karuna Health Foundation for show number 2. We're going to slowly count them as we build them out. But show number 2, deuce. And we got a few different camera angles, a few different things to show, a few different things to talk about. Most importantly, how you want to glow, how you want to stay lit, how you want to live your life, better quality of life, positive people, positive things,
good vibes,
happy lives, happy lives, strong tribes, strong vibes.
Yep.
Don't get fucking hypnotized. We're not trying to rhyme. We're just high as fuck on the Terp sauce from the Beard Brothers. And all that other good shit. How the fuck all y'all doing tonight? No, seriously, in all realness, we are at Karuna Health Foundation, guys. As we go around after, if there's anything you want to discuss, let us know, because this is the place where we can actually pull stuff out and we can discuss it. Like last night's rhino doses, I'm gonna pull out after. I'll grab those, and they're registered at 1,000 milligrams or whatever. So I took like 3 of them. But I woke up in the middle of the night with the munchies, and that's my kind of edible. I'm like down with that shit. Down. Bad Mike. Just pick up his Vicky Dabs.
Light a little bit more on your dad.
Come on, don't start with that. Ignore the light. Please. One shot.
Perfect.
Change my watch because the main spotlight up there.
Yeah, it's so bright.
Okay, here, hon. Try to get this mic back right there.
Let's grab a dab. You know what? I grabbed some dabs today.
I'm grabbing a dab.
I got some Acapulco Gold, actually. Some Acapulco Gold shatter. It's very nice. Would you like a dab? Ooh, why don't we double dip? Why don't we throw? Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I gotta get this Karuna to the other side because it looks really bad right there. People are gonna think it's perfect. Yeah, let me just move this off of Vicky's head there.
The sauce from the Bros. So we got some Acapulco Gold wrapped up in Beard Brothers cotton candy turf sauce. I don't think it gets much better than that. That's pretty nice to have. That's a sick dab,
Big
actually.
dab.
That's a honker.
Big honking motherfucking dab. So hopefully you guys are having a good, what day is it?
Happy Thursday.
It's finally Thursday. It is. It's Thursday evening. So hopefully everybody's having a good Thursday evening. We almost had our mics fixed, but unfortunately weren't able to get them fully fixed for a couple of different reasons. But we tried. It's funny, about a whole splitter and everything, and it still didn't work. It's frustrating as hell. Good thing is it's with good peoples.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead, give her.
It's for you.
Give her.
How's everybody doing tonight? Happy Thursday. Happy dabbing. Hope everybody's well. If you're on the lower mainland, come into Metta Lounge, say hey, say what's up. It's nice to chat, it's nice to sesh, it's nice to say hello. It's nice to commune with one another. You know what, it really is nice to actually get together and just chill. So if you're in the lower mainland, come down, say hi, grab dab. It's a nice chill spot. If you're outside of the lower mainland, tune in, please share with your friends. And thank you for tuning in, and thank you for sharing with your friends in your community. And yeah, hope your day is most dabby. Mine always is. And
we're gonna start doing some harm reduction projects out of here.
Yes, and some educational sessions like cannabis and diabetes, cannabis and cancer, cannabis and HIV, cannabis and fibromyalgia. You know,
whoa,
so
you're right. Mixing out was dangerous.
Woo-wee, that's what I'm about to do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Best way to end the day.
Dab the fuck out.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah. Woo, double dipper.
Killing me. So how you guys talking Terpenese today? Huh? Speak some Terpenese back. Join the Terpenese back.
Oh shit. I'm never greeting out live. Oh my god, I should never say never. Never say never. I pray to this great universe. I never green out. On Jesus.
Now hopefully tonight we're actually on YouTube. Hopefully we just didn't get messed up twice.
Those friggin' dabs.
We are live on YouTube tonight. Okay, friends on YouTube, you have a chance at winning tonight's giveaways as well. YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, you guys all got a chance to win tonight's giveaways. And Shit, what are we gonna give away? Woo. We're gonna give away something. It's gonna be a coupon, and the coupon is gonna be for Karuna Health Foundation. We're just not sure for how much, or for what what we're gonna do.
Nice, nice.
But my friends,
share with your friends. We're giving away something tonight. You will have an opportunity on Facebook equally as you will on on
Facebook. I'll be able to monitor both chats once I stop chatting and I actually get in here and start dabbing. So share, like that heart. What is that other thing I was supposed to tell them? Like the bell. What other thing am I supposed to tell them?
Share,
do a dab.
like, do a dab.
Share, like, do a dab. Share, like, do a dab. Hey, that's a good routine to get into. Just remember to do it on my page. No, seriously. Mad respect to you guys. You're acting kind of silly because you know what? After a day in a dispensary, you can act really funny. It's great being here with the patients again. It takes me back to what I started. Man, it's been a long time I've been at this, so you know it really takes me home to be able to sit here with patients. There's people here now coming and going, and being able to educate people about the endocannabinoid system, and actually seeing more and more college students coming in here, and they're smart enough to know like this shit's gonna help them. You know, they're not stupid. They're a whole new generation of smart kids, thanks to the internet and thanks to law. Now, when all these politicians, these old fucking cronies, catch up, well, maybe then we can actually have some free and democratic policy that is applicable for Canada. But anyway, I ain't gonna go all political.
What is the first viewer to come into Metta Lounge tonight?
I have a suggestion. How about you share this into Cannabis Canada for me, because I don't know how to do it from my phone. What's that? That's a cool idea. How should we do the giveaway, kiddo?
The first viewer that comes to Metta Lounge tonight.
No, that's not fair. That's not fair because there's people that are watching our show that live 100,000 miles away. That's not fair. There has to be something online. And because we have 2 chat feeds and we have 2, well, the YouTube chat's not as busy, so we're not as worried. It's funny, we got a few people watching, but it's not as busy. We haven't been on either, but people start to see we'll be on daily, and you'll just have to get used to us coming on around this time at the end of the day. When things start to wind down, it's just the way that each day will go. So, yeah, no. But if you got any questions, shoot away, guys. From medicated mochas to what goes on in the dispensary. If there's a certain kind of flower, name that flower and see if we got it here in our tower. How's that for you? Fucking name that flower, see if it's in our tower. Or if we got a strain that's at least close to it. Go ahead, shoot. Shoot, share. Do something.
Shoot, share. Also, you know what? If you're new to medical cannabis, and being in here the last few days has reminded me, I'm gone back in time. Actually, quite a few times to when I was new to medical cannabis. And if you are new and you have any questions at all, there's no such thing as a stupid question. There's no such thing as a small question. If you have any questions at all that pertain to medical cannabis and your health, please feel free to ask at any time, whether it be in this chat or private message, myself or Jason. I find that honestly, I remember, when I was afraid to ask. So, if you're out there and you're kind of at that place where this is really new or newish to you, never be afraid. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Please ask away. Jason and I love to share what's been freely shared with us. You know what? I got sick, and through my illness, I became enlightened. So if there's any way that I can share that with another human being, that is part of what I believe the universe called me to be here.
I would also say, most importantly, you want to get involved and get freaking medicated like us and have a lot of fun doing what we do. We're legalizing here, guys, right now. We are legalizing. Canada has legalized. It's just going through the procedure and the processing. So while we do this, let's have some fun. Come down, get educated. Let's have some freaking stoner sessions like we used to. Yeah. Some brainstorming sessions. We don't only have to brainstorm about how to protest certain laws or how to fight certain laws. We have to protest about how to have some fun. How to get out there and do some hemp Olympics. I mean, we got a PlayStation here. I'm not good at PlayStation, but I'd love to see a PlayStation competition.
Challenge
a full-on battle or something for a fucking ounce of weed.
I love it.
See how many guys are gonna fucking go to war for that shit. That's kind of stuff that I see as funny. You can utilize a space like this for everything from learning, educational seminars,
just having a good time.
To just having a good time. And you're gonna see we're gonna have different people on. We already have a few people lined up. You'll see throughout next week. Right now we're just kind of starting to get you guys, just getting settled in and starting to drive traffic more towards here so that people know where to find us now. Often people will come into town, they wanted to come by, and the thing was, when you're broadcasting from your personal home, you don't always have people come by that you don't necessarily know. It's a little bit different when it's a public dispensary. Provided that you're a qualified patient, then you can come down and enjoy the show. You can down and enjoy the
or you know what,
the lounge in general.
If you're not comfortable being on the show, you know what, drop in before, during, or after if you want to stop and you have some questions again about anything medically related to cannabis and Canada, or cannabis in general. We're here, and you know what, we would generally really love important. To share. It is important, honestly, because not everybody wants to be online, and that's okay. But if you have a question,
no, hold on,
come down.
We weren't talking about just people coming online. What we're saying is we're here all day to provide services. We made our decision. What do we want to do with our time? You know, volunteering, doing what?
How can I invest my time?
You know, how can we best use our How can we best utilize our time? Now, harm reduction was where we wanted to focus. But the problem is BC's not quite ready to fund a harm reduction home that's going to supply its members with cannabis.
No, they're just not there
yet. So instead of doing that, we did the next best thing. Is start to see what we can do with working closer with the patients and doing what our culture loves to do, keeping it real in the 604. Nothing's more important. And as we close in on Toronto, yes, I'm still coming to Toronto. This doesn't change anything. It just shows you the guys that as we were talking about progressing forward, we knew that our show was either going to go from a grow up or go from a dispensary, and possibly both. And most likely going to end up being both. Because we have companies that want us to promote certain things from there. In the near future, we're going to have a lot of companies wanting us to promote their shit and sell their shit through this dispensary. You know, so I mean, it just keeps going this way. Most importantly, is the remnants of the coalition is really what is continuing to hold up the forts, you know, for what's left of the cannabis culture. You know, that isn't licensed
medically anyway. Medically speaking, absolutely, yes. It is the remnants of the real warriors that got out there and said, there's no fucking way you're stripping me of my rights as a human being. And thank goodness you said that. Thank God you all did. Because I'm sitting here with a 20 gram a day license, and I went from that shitty ATP to being able to sustainably take care of myself and my health and my wealth. So my God, thank you for that.
Anyway, we only got a few people tuned in here. We're gonna get a chance to share this around. I'm not sure what's going on, but hopefully it's not too boring, you guys out there. But I couldn't get this drone footage to play yesterday. I'm gonna try to. If it doesn't play, what we'll do is we'll throw on Mr. Kurt Tusaw. Let me see if I can turn this volume up as well. Mr. Tusaw, if we put him on, he'll be able to talk to you guys about a potential. There, I turned our volume up a little bit. A potential driving case. And that driving case basically is the swab test. So if you're pulled over, so if an officer pulls you over, like my wife and I were driving home, they pull us over for, say, speeding. But the officer says, I think you're under the influence of cannabis because maybe I am, he says, you use cannabis? And I say, sure I do, officer. You know, for whatever reason. Because he thinks it for whatever reason. As soon as they swab your mouth and they say you're under arrest, you know, for DUI for cannabis, we want that case. So we can challenge it, we can change the laws once and for all for many Canadians. Now note that you may have to go without your license for a little while, but the lawsuit that you'll get for not having to go without that license during that time period
the aftermath
is
will be
huge.
large.
And not to mention, with really good lawyers, they can usually argue that you should have your license back pending the outcome of the trial. So likely you'll get your license back right away. So it's almost a fast track to getting your license back versus going through their bullshit. You know, it's a cash grab. Pseudoscience, cash grab. And Mr. Government, we will not stand for it, and there's no such thing as a non-medical cannabis user.
Nope.
I'm going to keep saying this on every show, and eventually some of y'all are going to catch up and you're going to be like, damn, those motherfuckers are right. There is no such thing as a medical user based on basic science and basic facts on the endocannabinoid system. Very simple. Give her, Miss Vicky Dabs. I got dab. Almost dab. See, the problem we've also fallen behind on is the other stuff. We're filming our deep water culture system. That's a lot of work. Just trying to. It's easy to get it built up, but it's a lot of work trying to get things done when you already had a garden started kind of thing. So there's all the stuff going on right now in the movement in the industry. So there's a lot of different things happening simultaneously that's making things awful complicated for us at times to do. But being able to now come from a place where we're able to share with you guys our lifestyle, at least some more of what we would like to see. I think everybody should have something like this in their location where they can sit down, they can
After
sit
work,
there
after
after being checked through, of course, smoke mirrors, and what the city requires. These are what people ask for. When you want to own a dispensary and call yourself legitimate, you need to smoke out your windows. You need to have a security system in the front, security system in the back, and a way that you're able to actually monitor what's going on in your facility at any time. And this is important. And clean floors, a nice clean facility, a place where people can sit down, have a latte, have a Slurpee, whatever. Now those are going to change in the future because the government won't allow us to have this. There's really another nice place my buddy Rich owns over on the island.
Oh my God.
And
awesome.
we filmed there, and yeah, it's called the Globe now.
I love it.
Rich, hats off to you, man.
Big
We look
time,
every time we get off at the Nanaimo Ferry. That's right where we go. Boom, right over to Rich's, and we have whatever's on the menu because it's pothead food. It's stoner bait.
It's stoner bait. It's good
and
snacks.
It works every time.
Well priced, well made, and honestly, you get to dab. You get to hang out, chill, dab your dispensary, and it's like fucking Scooby snacks. So it's like, why wouldn't you want to hang out there?
And the other thing too, and as everybody knows, Cannabis Canada only stands behind 5-star dispensaries and or brands.
Same with
So
lounges.
if you come to this location as a patient, you will expect 5-star treatment.
Oh my goodness,
and that's what we can guarantee that you will get when you come to a Karuna location. Is one, a 5-star location, 5-star treatment. Most importantly, you'll be able to get the education that we feel everybody deserves about the cannabis plant, whether it's recreational or medical, you know, to you. It's medical for everybody based on the cannabinoids. It's recreational.
I see customers.
You can have people as recreational or medical, but I don't see people as non-medical. The government overreached, once again, overbearing on their language, non-medical, because there's no such thing as non-medical, Mr. Government. Unless we're all aliens, then there's no such thing as non-medical. We all have CB1 and CB2 receptor cells. Cannabis goes through them. I say it too much.
No, you don't. You don't say it enough. I don't think it's said enough.
I think we need to remember this. I think is what matters. My wife doesn't use a walker right now because of one of those cannabinoids in combination with synergies we don't understand. All we know is we just keep smoking a lot of weed, and life just keeps going okay.
And if I keep taking those caps, I'm okay. I stop taking those caps, shit goes sideways real after 4 days, and that's just the truce. So fuck, I don't.
So once again, guys,
there's a view.
If you come in and hang out at the Metta Lounge, you can come in. There's a couple. This is only one half of it. There's another half, which is the dispensary side, which we'll show you a little after. It's harder with our length of our cameras right now, but we've done live feeds and stuff there. But this shows you where you can just sit down, have a dab, do whatever, and once again conforms to all the city policies and stuff that's appropriate. There, I got a camera person that's showing you guys a little bit around. But it does cross right over to another side, as you can see there. And yeah, that's our roof.
Why don't you give
the roof? The roof is on fire. What?
Gwen, would you mind taking your dad's phone?
What?
Would you?
That's good.
Good job.
So that shows you your general dispensing area, and so when you go down here, you can select your indicas, your sativas, and so forth. I got to get ready to switch off here. It's one thing when our own people are in there, but when customers come in, or we cannot allow them to be
uncomfortable in any way.
Yeah. How do I switch? It's me. Switch back. Okay, so we're back on the attack. Switch that camera and don't freak those people out.
Yeah, turn it back towards us.
Put that camera back towards us so the people don't get tripped out. Yeah, so working in the dispensary and being able to film in the dispensary. This hasn't been done before, but what's funny too is we're going to be doing little skits. Well, we're going to mic up our staff some days and fuck around. So don't be surprised when you see us go live. Remember, hit that bell so you know when we go live. People say, what's your schedule? You know what? Our schedule is based on stoners. You know, what can I tell you? I can't say anything else, man. I tried to organize a show, and I'm one of the most punctual motherfuckers I know. I can't organize a show for the life of me because everybody I know is a stoner, and even with my daughter, who's amazing, I'm putting up with a lot of shit and being able to do a lot of things at one time. We still struggle to get this show on the go. But we do it, and we love it. We love doing it. Because
anybody that knows an O'Brien, or at least any of the O'Briens that I'm related to, is we are chronically late for everything.
She is chronically like, I gotta take a. It doesn't matter. You can say, honey, we're leaving in exactly 15 minutes. In exactly 15 minutes, she'll have to go pee. And well, you can't go 10 minutes before that. She's got to go right at the 15-minute mark. Now, you brothers out there that know what I'm talking about, you know what's up. It's just surreal.
Goodness sakes.
No, I can respect
back to the show.
But back to the show.
Yes, we will have. We were going to set up a time.
But it's you silly shit.
We're going to have a day set time. You know, keep it to the 60-minute mark, which we have been pretty good at. But it's getting more
at the same
and
time,
more,
we're also
a little more, you know, a little more defined.
We're also learning how to kill our time. So if you guys are engaging us and sharing this. So if you want the show to keep going, you should be sharing it into the groups that you don't normally share it into. Get it out there, get it around so that we keep the show going.
I think this time is too late.
It is. It might be late, but there are people up. This is the thing. There's always stoners. You're out there. It's just a matter of content. People need to know we're talking your level. Well, at this point, it's the end of the day. It's been a long-ass day. All I got to do is check over a few things, and my day is done. But after a long-ass day, it's done. You know, that's just the way we finish things out. So, you know, that's the way it'll play out. We don't even have our reels spinning right now. We don't even have our reels spinning. Where do you got that secondary camera? PS2.
Well, I can't really talk and invite, right? So I can't do both.
I'm going to go to commercial break. You know, that's normally what we do, right? So we'll have to cut off the commercial break, and hopefully you guys will share this around, and we'll pick it up from there. If not, I'm just too tired to try to even hold a conversation or dialogue at this point, because this is more of a stoner show than it is a hey, here's an educational piece for you. But on that note, here's a legal piece for you that is not educational, it's factual. That when the federal government screws up and arrests a cannabis patient for using for just DUI for using cannabis, they better hope that that person has a joint right in their hand, because it's going to be pretty hard to prove that pseudoscience in court. On that note, here's Mr. Kurt Tusaw talking about that very issue. I'll see you in a couple minutes.
There's two streams of thought there, right? There's C-45, which is the Cannabis Act, and C-46, which deals with impaired driving, and not just cannabis, but other forms of impaired driving. Here's my view. I don't think I've been under 2 nanograms a milliliter of THC metabolite in my blood since I was 15 years old, right? At no point. And you know, I say that because it's funny, but I say that because it's also true. And I think you could test somebody, you know, when they wake up first thing in the morning, that is a medical cannabis consumer, and I'm a medical cannabis consumer, that is always going to be over that threshold. And so what you do is you effectively criminalize an entire class of people based on their choice of medicine that you don't do with other medicines. You know, we're not going to people and saying, well, you've got, you know, 2 nanograms per milliliter of codeine metabolite in your system from the pill you took to help you sleep last night, but we could make up an imaginary number that has nothing to do with impairment and take people off the road as a result of that. And I think, you know, when you're talking about a very privacy intrusive thing, going into people's blood in a forcible way to seize their blood in order to test it, and the evidence that's yielded from that is not relevant to the issue to be decided, which is, was that person impaired? Because there's no science linking these arbitrary numbers to any level of impairment. Very much unlike alcohol, where there's a great deal of science that we can rely on. I think you've gone too far. And I think the courts are going to find that. I think the courts are going to find that the government's gone too far on C-46, and that those per se limits, at least, will be found to be unconstitutional. And there's, you know, this will warm your heart, there's momentum building to do a test case. There's been at least one prominent figure from the LP world, Chuck Raffici, who's publicly said he'll put the first $25,000 into a test case. I've talked to a couple of the impaired lawyers out there that do drug and alcohol impaired driving for a living. They're interested in taking this on. So, you know, we could be building a team to challenge that as well. You know, with C-45, the Cannabis Act, philosophically, I think that the government took the wrong approach by creating a criminal enforcement scheme with exemptions to create legal activity. You know, I think that that's kind of backwards. I think it should have been a legal scheme with some exemptions, limited exemptions for certain types of criminal activity. But I understand why they did it. I mean, from a jurisdictional standpoint, the government, federal government, has criminal law power jurisdiction. They don't necessarily have the jurisdiction to regulate cannabis if it's not within a public safety or health context. And so they maybe didn't have a choice in their approach. I do appreciate that the Cannabis Act does a few things with the penalty structure that are positive. Eliminates mandatory minimum sentencing. People forget today, despite some court decisions finding unconstitutionality, but you can still have a mandatory minimum sentence for 6 marijuana plants in this country. You know, the fact that you'll be able to grow 4 legally is a huge step forward per household. The fact that you'll be able to possess 30 grams of cannabis in public is a huge step forward. The fact that you'll be able to store an unlimited amount of cannabis in private is a massive step forward. All of those things make it harder for police officers to get warrants. All of those things make it harder for enforcement. And much of it signals just sort of a different direction that I think will permeate through policing culture, which we've already seen in British Columbia over the last few years, massive declines in enforcement. I think that that's a trend that we're going to stay on. They've also lowered the maximum sentence for certain of the more serious trafficking offenses in cannabis. Currently, trafficking more than 3 kilos of cannabis still has a maximum of life in prison. Under C-45, it's 14 years. Is that too much? Of course that's too much. That's ridiculous. Nobody gets the maximum. I mean, I tell people you could sail a tanker truck of hash into Vancouver Harbor and you're not going to get life in prison, even though that's the maximum penalty, right? That doesn't happen. But it does have ripple effects. The maximum penalty of 14 years disqualifies accused persons from certain outcomes. The flip side of that, though, is that the federal government has made it a Crown option to proceed by summary conviction in every Cannabis Act offense. And so the Crown, either on its own initiative at the beginning of a prosecution or through deal making as you defend these cases, there's two streams of thought there, right? There's C-45, which is the Cannabis Act, and C-46, which deals with impaired driving, and not just cannabis, but other forms of impaired driving.
Welcome back to Cannabis Canada with Jason Wilcox, coming to you from another undisclosed location here in British Columbia, Canada. We got the Beard Brothers in the house. We got Brother Brad to actually talk about some of the medicinal cannabis that we have in this room, some of the lighting systems that we're using, and much more. So first off, let me invite Brad into the room. It's just a tight place here. Bradley, welcome to the show.
What's up, Jason?
As always, brother.
Yeah, brother.
What do we got going on here, brother? You got a bunch of new lighting.
Yeah, we got a 30 light PL system, 1,000 watt, double-ended HPSs. We got this is a medical grow going on right now. So yeah, we're just kind of this is a new facility, so we're just dialing it in, you know, troubleshooting everything, making sure our plants are happy, and so far I think the ladies are doing pretty good. This is Pink Kush. You know, it's very medicinal, hot, very strong indica, so
Healthy.
yeah, very healthy.
The first thing I know is how thick. You guys might not will get B-roll, but there's thick stock.
Yeah, we're about 4 weeks into veg, so you know we're gonna grow them a little taller. Then we're gonna kick them into bloom.
What's the average yield off the pink?
Well, off a plant. Well, it depends on it. We're gonna grow them to veg them about here, and we're gonna finish them out here. We're hoping about 4 or 5 ounces a plant, maybe.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Now this is extremely clean. I love this.
Yeah,
I
thanks,
often
man.
talk about this, and guys, to our viewers out there, to our female growers that are rising up like an army, man, all that matters, especially ladies, we don't even tell you, but for growers, keep your room clean and you won't have problems with bugs or anything else. This room itself, in my own opinion, might need a little more humidity. That would be the only thing some people might say, just because they're...
Yeah, we're bringing that up. We've implemented our fogger, so we're just trying to increase it. You come in here a few hours a day at least. You got to check all your thermostats and everything, make sure everything's kind of working. It's not just turn it on, let walk away, right? It's a daily grind. There's lots of things go wrong, things kick out. So it's literally a constant work battle.
Now notice all these here, the PL lighting systems, now they're all the way down. Tell me a bit about them.
Well, yeah, we're trying these ones out. So far so good. I mean, like I said, we've only had them on for about 4 weeks now. We got them set up at 1,000 watts. You can adjust them pretty good. You can start at 600, 660, 750, 825, 1,000, and 1150.
Well, there you go. So you can dial it down, guys. If you want to grow in your tent with this, you can run it down to 600.
Checking our height. We're watching our lux, making sure we're getting ample light. The plants seem to be pretty happy. We're not getting any burn. They're thriving, in my opinion. Like Jason said, a little bit more humidity, but we're working on that. That's part of a process. Get the humidity up in our vegetative cycle, and then once we hit into flower, we'll start decreasing it as the flowers get bigger.
And now these are right close to, just so we know, these are right, people are wondering if you're going to flower in this, and I can tell you he's close to transplanting them. What comes next?
No, we're going to transplant them in a few days. We're going to hit them into the 5 gallon. That's our finishing pot. So we're going to transplant them. We're going to do a little more pruning. We're going to do a little more bending on some of these tops. So we get about, we're going to end up with about 5 or 6 tops on most of them. So we can get some good tops, some good colas.
So now the methodology, I talk about this on the show, the many ways you can grow. This is an example of topping.
So what we do,
see all these multiple heads that Brad's talking about?
So what we do is we take the top guy here, and all we do is we bend it. We don't break it. We don't remove it.
Oh, you do low stress training?
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. I called something I didn't know.
Yeah. So we're just bending, and then that way everything else has a chance to catch up. We just stunt the growth.
But I've had.
All right, so welcome back, guys. There you go. All that Vicky introduced our guests. We are now back. Sorry, I just cut that off. You guys want to see that? Go check it out. It's on my YouTube channel. There's 700 videos there. I'm not trying to be rude, but we might as well jump in.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
We'd like to welcome Megan to the show. How are you doing? How are you doing?
Welcome,
How are
Megan.
you? Yeah, how are you doing? Megan, you are a frequent Karuna member.
Yes.
Yes.
I have been a Karuna member for quite some
For a long
time. It was my first dispensary.
That's awesome.
When I first came here, I didn't even know what keef was. I remember asking the girl who worked here. I was like, what is a keef?
What is a keef?
What is a keef, and how do you make a puck out of it?
How do you do that?
How do you get a pump out of it? I like that.
A puck.
Oh, a puck.
Yeah, yeah.
Keef puck.
Little puck. Yeah.
So
Shit, that's so cute.
it's been a long process, but now I know some more things, and I'm a lot better for it.
No, definitely.
Nice.
That's awesome.
There's a delay going to the chat there. There's only a delay on the. There's a long delay actually. Yeah, that was my phone. Or it's me dabbing. Whatever it is. There you guys are. So yeah. What else are we gonna talk about? We're going to Toronto now. We're going to Toronto to talk with fighters about CBDs. As I sit here dabbing away, and it's been a long day. But in all reality, we're going into Toronto as we keep talking about this, and tonight's a chance for ladies to be able to speak from their perspective about creams, cannabinoids, how they help with repairing muscle tissue, strains, pains, and otherwise. Ladies, take her away.
Well, I know for me, CBD has been like nothing short of a miracle. But everybody's heard my story a million times over and they're bored to death with it. So I'm thinking maybe we have a little bit more important to hear about how cannabinoids have been helpful in your life.
All of the cannabinoids are helpful in my life. Personally, for like aches and pains and strains, I'm a big bath person.
Yep.
So lots of CBD soaks. The oil goes in the bath.
Those are very good, yes.
And then
Yep.
tokes while you soak.
Definitely tokes while you soak. I like that.
Tokes while you soak.
You know what? I started using bath bombs this past year, and I'd have to agree with you. At first, I was like a bit, you know, this seems like a bit of a craze, and then I got some really good bath salts, and I was like, actually,
There's something
take it
to
back.
There's something about submerging your whole self in it that
I
I
agree.
didn't even think about the bath salts with relation to fighters, because open flesh wounds is what the first thing I think about is, okay, you can have open flesh wounds with that bath salts. It might sting a little bit, but you can still have open flesh wounds.
But for the most part,
It
they're just going to be
doesn't
sparring
hurt.
and training, right? So they're not always going to be walking around with
No, I'm
flesh
thinking
wounds.
post-fight.
Post-fight, maybe you want to wait a little bit before jumping into an Epsom salt bath, right?
Epsom salts are an exfoliant. So
Yeah, they're an
if you have-
antioxidant, right?
Yeah, they're very good. Yeah, they're.
Yeah, so that would be a good thing. No?
I would think.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, you know, if we can go down with a combination of maybe we should bring bath salts as well.
That's a good idea.
We're already bringing creams and stuff. We're thinking what applies to fighters. Now we know some of them, they're going to want to smoke some of the dankest BC bud. Others are going to want to dab terp sauce. But that's going to be a fractional of the crowd we're actually targeting to educate. People we're targeting to educate is with these creams, these tinctures, the stuff we got sitting here in front of us on how to use this
The good
in
stuff
relation
here.
to cannabis and combat sports. Because that's what this is about. That's why we're going to Toronto. We're going to educate about cannabis and combat sports.
Use the Pure Bud CBD Cool Stick.
I have. I like that. I really like that one. Actually, that one.
That is my bus.
I have a few favorites, and I will admit that is one that's in our home actually.
But like
That, and there's a Buddha bar.
right in here.
Yeah,
So
Now, for anybody that's wondering, this is what's called Phoenix Tears. This was essentially my initial introduction, and I think it's
Mine as well.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think for many of us, when you go online, one of the first things you sort of stumble across is Phoenix Tears, is RSO. So you've come across the Rick Simpson story, you know, and if you have, watch it. If you haven't, watch it. If you haven't, Google, research, you know what I mean, watch. What's it called? There's something to cure. Run from the Cure. Watch
Run from the Cure.
Watch Run from the Cure. You know what? It was life changing for me.
I'll take even further
many.
back, like myself with my own police videos. You can see where Rick had his hidden cameras, and the federales, you know, the federal investigative units, they came in, but they didn't wear any badges, nothing that identified who they were, but they were in full Kevlar in case they might get shot. But of course, they went in there, they were looking for Rick's files because he was reversing cancer, and nobody, Big Pharma, nobody wanted it out. Now it's getting out. Dr. Paul Hornby had to leave the country as well. He was worried. You know, he didn't have to, but he was always worried about Big Pharma coming after him. Now I understand it. Now that I see them all around us, I get it. You know, multi-billion dollar operation.
Oh
Absolutely.
goodness, it's crazy the money that's in pharmaceuticals, right? Like we were talking about that earlier. I think all of us have our own story with that and struggle with that, and whew, thank goodness things like this. You know, for me, when I get up in the morning, I start my day with a tincture. I rub some of this in the back of my neck, and same thing. A lot of fibro sufferers, we have a lot of pain in between the shoulders. Oh my goodness. So if you have fibro and you have that deep burning pain, muscle pain, in between the shoulders, I would suggest finding a good topical, starting your day, rubbing some of this on post-gym.
Or a good mocha that's infused.
Very good. But when you're getting up in the morning with fibro, you're getting up with chronic pain, what that actually essentially means is you're getting up feeling like you got rigor mortis. Everything is so stiff. You feel like, oh God, I don't want to get out of bed, but I do because I need to take that goddamn oil. You know what I mean? It's like that struggle, right? First thing I do is rub some of this on, so at least I'm getting some immediate relief. I rub a little bit of topical on, take a little bit of tincture.
Trust me, she does. It's irritating as shit because I'm sound asleep and shit. I feel the bed rocking. And it's her rubbing her, creaming her. It's just like the whole bed's just rocking and rolling because Vicky's rubbing her, creaming. And she's having a good old time. And I'm just like, come on, stop waking me up, man.
It's
You
also
do that
a
shit in
good
the bathroom?
way in the morning of taking like
She does a bad thing. Yeah.
just taking like a can't say a word. Just looking at what hurts today and where you are and like, oh, I have to be extra careful.
I agree.
With
it's a good check-in.
left shoulder, right, you know.
It does give you that, you're right, that time to say, oh shit,
And then
today my neck hurts.
definitely after you have your topical, then you get your infused coffee.
Definitely. That's exactly how my day starts. You know what I mean? And I know people are like, holy shit, right? But if I don't, I can't move anymore. And I know we're similar.
Yeah.
Like pain is, you're like, right? I don't want to feel like that. So it's
I
amazing.
Get off the couch yesterday.
Yeah.
So
Those are not fun days, right? So also we have some CBD tincture here, which is for myself, for you, for many people. Life-saving, life-giving. We also
my
have...
dog.
Yes, you know what? You're absolutely right. Thank you for touching on that. It's not just about us. It's actually CBD and THC, but CBD specifically has been really, really great for our pets, our animals, our livestock.
Hey, I agree with this. Hang on, sorry, ladies, but would you agree that one day maybe ambulances and fire departments will actually carry stuff like CBD and other stuff to stop seizures?
I hope so.
You know, that they see a
agree.
baby seizuring or somebody seizuring and they can potentially stop it. Now we can't, not like an opiate overdose type seizure, but we're talking seizures. I've never thought about that, but that's brilliant from our friends on YouTube. Brilliant. Good job.
You never know. It would be lovely. Do I see it happening? I'm going to be honest with you. No. Because there's so much money invested in North American pharmaceuticals, and you know that now that I'm on the other side of it and I'm seeing things very differently, because I used to work in the mental health field, so I worked in the medical field for many years, and I was a firm believer. I was a good patient. I did what the doctors told me, and when I had clients, I told clients ABC, then you're going to get D, because I firmly believe that the healthcare system was designed to help us, because that's what I was in it for. And then when I got involved in the healthcare system, and just I was like, wow, this thing seems like it's designed to fuck me over. I'm totally confused because I'm coming.
ABC does
Not equal D ever, maybe like 1 in 99 times, right? So I was so overwhelmed, you know what I mean? So overwhelmed. I'm so grateful to meet sisters like you who've had the same experience, because you know what it tells me, like, fuck, we need to keep educating, we need to keep doing this, we need to keep meeting, we need to keep sharing, because how many other sisters out there right now don't have this, right?
As females, quite often at the doctor, we don't get taken seriously.
No.
And I found even now, like, doctors assume I'm a lot younger than I am. They still will be like, oh, you're 20. And it's like, but
On that note, though, on that note, I would like to say thank you to the doctors who have branched off of the CMA and have said,
doing the right thing.
Have said, you know what the CMA and what the CMPA has issued, that's the Canadian Medical Protective Association that insures the doctors. They've issued a waiver form to say you can't even get sued. So when the doctor says to you, well, I don't want to get sued, you can just give them that waiver form. You can download it. So you just gotta help them with it. Second part, doctors themselves, thank you to the doctors that have branched off and said enough is enough. Stop infringing on these patients' rights and forcing them to choose between, you know, one thing or the other, you know, and infringing on their personal right to autonomy between the doctor and the patient. So if you're going to leave it between doctor and the patient, Health Canada, the CMPA, and the Canadian Medical Association needs to stay out of it. And until we actually know more about cannabis. On that note, ladies, we have 3 different flavors of buds here. Let's talk about why they're different colored caps, maybe.
Yeah. If you were to come into Karuna, you would experience this. Very easy. Everything is labeled. And they all come in different colors. And the different colors are sativa, hybrid, and indica. So if you come in and you're looking up, yes, indica. So sorry, got it wrong. But yeah, you come in, you'll know exactly what you're looking for. Also on the labels, it'll tell you exactly what the strain, effectively what it is, what it's good for. So when you're coming in and you're looking, and again, I've been in here for the last few days, and it's really brought me back to a place where, you know, I forgot. Sometimes you forget in your own health journey. I forgot what it was like to not know, you know, what strains were working for me. because that's, you know, I'm going back moons, right? And it was fucking frustrating. I was so frustrated because I was watching Dr. Sanjay Gupta and being like, why the fuck am I not having my doctor? Like, why am I not having a Dr. Sanjay Gupta moment? I was so pissed. I was getting frustrated at the plant because it wasn't giving me what I needed, but it was that I wasn't giving myself the right application of cannabis. You know what I mean? It was, I wasn't taking it in the right way.
Have you found following your nose is the way to find it?
Yes, for the most part. Yeah, for the most part, absolutely. You know what? That's a great tip. Follow your nose. Your nose always knows, and it is true. Your terpenes. Yes.
Your body knows what it needs and what's good for it.
It does. You lock on. I open up a jar and I'm like, oh, I want that. Yeah. Immediately. Or, oh, yep. That's not my strain. You know what I mean? Because some of you are just like, oh, geez, no. Like, I'm not a big cheese fan. But some people swear by
such a cheesy.
Right?
Craig on Facebook is saying CBD, so stuff like, do we have isolate here?
I can go grab some.
We can get some isolate on maybe on the next break.
Yeah.
This is CBD, 1,000 milligrams here with grapeseed oil. So this is the CBD tincture that's here.
1,000 milligrams.
Now in Australia, they're limited to 5 nanograms because when we were in Australia, was it last year in Australia? Yeah. Last year in Australia, we learned that they actually capped CBD. So CBD being capped really screwed things up for us. Yeah, trying not to do my best to try and talk over there.
Yes, we wrap up. It's getting a little bit loud in here.
But the CBD part of it, where are we gonna go with that?
Sure, my dear.
No, it's stopping the seizures, sorry. They're going back to the seizures and the dogs. The thing that bothers me is that CBD also keeps my wife off a walker. I know she doesn't need THC. The THC helps her with the pain. With the pain, the THC will help her. With sleep, it'll help her. With stimulating her appetite, it'll help her.
Yeah.
But when it comes to everything else, CBD in synergy with other cannabinoids, we're not sure how exactly, but we know that keeps her off a walker. Give her 1 week, and you can actually see cannabinoid deficiency. I implore anybody watching YouTube or Facebook, look it up now and challenge me back.
I would say honestly, my greatest fear in life is taking that away from me again.
No,
it is, honestly. Taking, like, my greatest fear in life is somebody saying to me, you are no longer, there's no CB available to you. I don't know what, I don't understand.
Hey, Dabcore.
Oh my God.
Right on,
I'm sure
Dabcore.
there's many of you out there, like, oh my goodness, who are in the same position as me, whatever cannabinoid, you know what I mean, works for you, you're like, do not take that lock and key from me. You know what I mean? And I know there's so many people like me because, again,
please
CBD,
share and like, friends. Share and like.
CBD fills the opioid receptors in your brain. So if it can fill the same space as an opioid receptor, why wouldn't, you know, when you go into your brain doctor, the first thing they should be offering us is plant-based medicines. You know what I mean? Not medicine that after like 10 years on medicines I was told to take, I now have kidney disruption. What the fuck? That's not fair. But it is what it is. You know what? If I can implore any other sister out there that's newly diagnosed with fibro, newly diagnosed with chronic pain, there is other ways. You may still have to take pharmaceuticals, but at least with cannabis, you reduce it. There's nothing wrong with that, but you reduce the amount, right? And what an awesome thing to give your body a couple extra hours a day, you know what, to just, be okay. And not be chemically polluted.
Yeah.
Now today we weren't able to get the second monitor up, or I'd be bringing screen capture in there because we found some great articles that are on cannabinoid deficiency.
Yes.
That when your body is deficient and some of the symptoms of it, and you'd be surprised at the inflammation, the same things that happens with age seems to happen with cannabinoid deficiency. So when you feed that endocannabinoid system, it seems to almost like you're repairing yourself. You're feeding your body with the multivitamin, and that's why I go back to my objection with the federal government.
Dr. Ethan Rousseau, sorry.
With the federal government's position on non-medical use of cannabis, it's that language. See, calling it recreational is one thing, but once you switch to non-medical, that's suggesting that people are aliens and they have no CB1 or CB2 receptor cells. And I have to keep saying this until the federal government takes us serious, or we take you to court.
Well, you know what? I believe Dr. Ethan Russo, the day he made that discovery, he really believed that endocannabinoid deficiencies happen with migraine, lupus, fibromyalgia, IVF, there's other things. Those are the big ones, right? He must have gone, oh my God, there's billions of human beings on the planet that I just helped. Now, 10, 20 years later, he's still sitting in the lab going, what the fuck? When you go to your doctor and you have lupus, which again is one of those crazy things, it's hard to treat, hard to diagnose, super hard to treat, Crohn's, lupus, fibromyalgia. These are all these mystery things that they say are hard to treat, and yet they believe that it's an endocannabinoid deficiency. So the first thing, if you go into your office and you have any of these mystery disorders, you should be fed, right?
This is an important one. Plant. Dr. Cannabis, I got you. On YouTube, Dr. Cannabis is talking about the C75 reduced time sentence. Yes, but you know what? In my own opinion, and I said this in 2012, the minute Justin Trudeau announced legalization, this legislation should have already started to release our brothers and sisters who are convicted of cannabis-only offenses. Whether it's growing and or using cannabis, they should be released now. We shouldn't be waiting to legalize to release them. That's just, once again, a little bit of hype. But yes, we have paid attention to the fact that the government has at least started legislation to release our brothers and sisters come this August when we legalize. Or
as they bloody well should.
As they should. So anybody interested should read Bill C-75, but at the same time, pay attention to C-45, because you need to understand what you're going to face.
That's a mofo.
If you don't get your license. If you don't, I know people don't want to conform to the law, and you're like, well, you know, I'm going to keep fighting it. And I'm with you. Believe me, I've been fighting for my whole life. So I'm with you.
But for God's sakes.
Go ahead and fight the law if you wish, but there's a chance to find a reasonable route, possibly, for you, and maybe not. You know, the government still made a monopoly over supply and distribution, both domestically and internationally. So as long as we allow that, we're not a free and democratic people, and we're not doing our job. So if we allow that, it's no different than when the patient stood up and said, you can't take our gardens based on this conjecture of fire, mold, organized crime. So
well, no, we're still we're not there. I mean, thank goodness we are where we are. We were talking about this earlier. Thank goodness this quasi-legalese state that we live in is we are where we are. But are we done? Not quite. No.
It's not good enough yet.
It's not good enough yet. But thank God, and I'm saying this out loud. Thank God we are where we are. And you know. But C-45 does frighten me.
Nobody, including my lawyers and myself and my friends closest to me, has said that legalization is a bad step forward. No matter what, it's a good step forward. There's some bad policy, but you know what? You can't address the policy until they make it a law.
Until it's been exactly implemented.
Now that they've made it law, we can address it. When they fuck up with that, when they arrest somebody for a saliva test, we can address it. We can overturn that law so millions of Canadians never ever have to worry about being pulled over for cannabis. You know, they should get back to focusing on the real drugs that are killing people daily. Fentanyl is killing people in British Columbia here daily, and in Toronto daily.
Get the fuck out of here, right?
So why are we talking about save the kids from cannabis?
Not just that. You know what? In opiates, like this is frightening. In Ontario, more people are dying of prescription drugs than fucking car accidents. This is the first time in man's history. I'm an Ontarian. We're both Ontarians. There's more people dying of opioid, you know, and these are people that are dying inadvertently, accidentally. They don't need to wake up. No, they don't wake up.
That's gonna be.
It's accidental. Absolutely.
These are accidental overdose, and nobody's talking about them because the pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know. But there's more people dying in Ontario of fucking overdoses from their pharmaceuticals accidentally than anything else. That's insane, man. That's crazy that we have people. We're losing hundreds of people in every province, whether it be opioid, fentanyl, you know, morphine, I don't give a shit. It's in that class of drugs. We are losing hundreds of people in every province every month. And I know, and I felt it, and I know many other brothers and sisters have, that CBD especially is so good. If you're in withdrawals from any kind of morphine, opiate, anything like that, CBD can temper the, you know, oh my God. Yeah. It was unbelievable, and I know I've spoken to other people that have done the process the same way I had. I did it knees up. I've done it both ways. I've done knees to the chin, and then I did it, you know what, much more humanely. And the humane way was with the CBD RSO.
Oh, so much better.
It was like
I had 3 weeks of I didn't exist at all as a human being.
Right?
I was just on a couch.
That's how I think we've all been, where you're like, you can't even look at a human for, you know, however long that takes, but it's not an overnight process. And it's crazy when there is plant-based products, essentially, that could, you know, I worked in addiction, so I've seen more people fail coming off of, you know, whether that be a pharmaceutical or a street drug. I saw more people sadly fail than get off of it. And again, I go back to my own teaching. Fuck, if I'd only known that, you know what, CBD is going to assist, you know, a majority of people with anxiety and all these other things, cravings. And if you need to smoke a little joint, you know, at the end of the day, harm reduction is where it's at. Oh my God, I can't imagine the amount of people I could have helped. When I look back now, I think, like, you know.
Speaking of harm reduction, reduce my harm. Pass that bud.
That banner.
This is like some of the.
I love. That's why I pulled it out.
When you guys come here, you can smell it for yourself. And when you smell each strain, I mean, you can respect the cannabis for what it is. I know some of y'all are gonna say I should be wearing a glove and stuff, but you know what? I'm just that old school that I don't need to. So, but those of you that understand cannabis, understand the sticky icky I often talk about, and the different strains. Most importantly, when you come in here, you can actually pick from your three different favorites. You know, like
come in, smell, take a little peek.
I don't know why they got God OG under hybrid. So I guess. Well, I guess God is the sativa dominant.
Well, this one is, look at the back. Ooh, this is nice. This is an LA Confidential.
Oh, it's got Bubba Kush.
Yeah. And the God Bud in it. Nice.
It smells great.
Yeah, it does smell really good.
Oh, the terp profile. That's what I mean. When you come here,
This
there's like 80 strains or 60 strains.
This was my pick. Woo wee!
And this one here, I wish you guys could see, but this has all orange buds.
It's pure orange.
And this reminds me of orange chemo.
Hey, webcam.
Oh, sorry, there's a webcam here. Hang on a sec. I'll show you guys a picture real quick. There. Wow. That's one way to dump a freaking soup thing. Anyway, you see the orange there.
Beauties.
Oh, one didn't go in my coffee. Fuck, it did too.
Oh, you got a bun in your coffee? Extra infused.
Yummy. Green.
That's how you deal with that.
Yeah.
No foul, no wigs.
No.
I don't know if they can hear us. Can they still hear us? Oh, they can still hear us, even though we're on a different camera. So you can actually see Vicky Dabs. If you guys can hear us okay, give us some thumbs up, let us know.
Let's take a little break, babes.
We are going to take a little break.
Perfect.
We're going to do the Coalition documentary. Actually, we're doing the Cannabis Extract Express. 419 Toronto. Vicky and I will be on the bus parking in front of the club. What are you doing?
For dab stick, sorry.
Okay, in front of the club. Here.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. We're going to be posing up in front of the club.
I'm trying to get to commercial break.
Okay, go for it.
Alright. We'll see you guys when we get back here. Once again, it's one of those Vicky Dabs moments.
Love you.
But anyway, the Cannabis Extract Express was one of the a birth child of Justin Loiseau. So again,
Big
great
shout
work
out.
with this kid for 5 years. I call him a kid, he's just younger than me, but he's done a lot of Just Compassion, done a lot of stuff back east, and been working with me with the Coalition literally for 5 years, and I'm really proud of him. But he came up with this brainstorm. He had the backing of the Coalition, but he came up with this brainstorm to take to the Supreme Court of Canada. So we figured, since we're coming back to Toronto to celebrate the summer legalization, and we're bringing out the Extract Express while we're there with the Beard Brothers and Cannabis Canada, and that's where Vicky and I actually met some almost 3 years ago. We figured we'd bring this back to you guys now. So we'll see you in a couple of minutes. Enjoy the commercial break, and we'll continue the discussion when we get back. Maybe we'll grab some CBD isolate or something. And
I'll go get that. Put some of
if
this
you guys
stuff
have
back.
anything you'd like to see profiled, let us know, or talked about, let us know.
Yep.
And we can see if we have it in the dispensary here. See you after break. All right, welcome back. I'm here now. I've got Kevin Sharp, Paul Hunt, Dan Pagliuti, Mo, Linda, Ryan, Coalition crew, basically people who've been stomping it down in Allard, which is going to be the next big case. If they want to bring us here and do that again, I'm all for it. But guys, great job. What did you guys think? Just a quick shout out here. Well, I guess we'll start at this end. What did you guys think about what you've seen in there? What you think about the first medical marijuana case in Canada at the Supreme Court of Canada?
It was awesome. The information was good. Like, we just put the crown down. I thought it was good. Good. Happy. Happy.
It's really nice to see something going down in history for the future of this country. Not only for ourselves, but the future for these people, which is so cool, man. It's just great.
Dano, best court case I ever seen. Lady Justice laughing at the councilman. Just epic. Just epic.
Absolutely. All right. Right on, Ryan.
It sounds and it looks like extracts for all, for sure, man.
Awesome. Okay, Mo.
Can I say this? We got this.
We got this. Linda, in closing?
Definitely positive being here. Great experience. When you guys missed it, you missed out.
No, actually, in closing, the Crown got their ass handed to them. I can't believe the Chief Justice said, can you please bring something that's applicable to the Charter of Rights and Freedoms? I keep telling everybody this is not criminal law. This is about liberty and the Charter of Rights and Freedoms in the country of Canada. Not over in Europe, not here, or not over in America, here in Canada. And the courts are going to continue to rule in the favor of ethics, liberty, and medical patients. Stay tuned for more from Cannabis in Canada.
Welcome back to Cannabis Canada with Jason Wilcox. We are now with the Beard Brothers, and many of you have wanted to see slabs and talk about dabs. Behind me is the oven. We got a bunch cooking in here. I don't even know what else to say. I'm kind of in Candyland right now because, again, I'm not an extractor. So, Bradley, take us through some of what we got laying out here on the table.
This is some more raw footage. I mean, we haven't really ever gotten any shots inside in our lab, so this is kind of a little taste you're gonna get. But you know, this is exciting. So this is just a typical day in the Beard Bros world. You know, we got some killer flavors here. You know, Pink Kush. This is a quad shatter for sure. Purple White Lightning, super nice. One of our staples, Cotton Candy, really fire. And then we also got some sweet cheese here.
No, just so people, I'm curious because my wife's a dabber and I dab. Now, different colors. People often say, "Oh, it's darker means it's no good." That's not necessarily true.
It's not, has nothing to do with the extraction process. I mean, there's a few things, but it comes down to how the flower is finished. Typically, it's all down. It comes down to the trichome, right? So if you over finish or you overheat your room, you're gonna extract a darker shatter. And so a lot of indicas will come out typically darker. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's just a trait of the genetics. You know, sativas, when they're grown right, typically come out a little bit lighter. You know, that's just its trait, you know? So color, people need to let that color, so if it's black, poopy looking shit, okay. You know, but if it's got an amber look to it, it's killer.
I was just going to say, on that word amber, now the point of degradation when you're growing, when you use a scope, you look at your trichome, the point of degradation is when the plant starts to turn brown.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what Bradley's talking about, is just over matured product being run through, and this is the outcome of that. I guess that's my understanding.
Totally, and a lot of people, you know why they push their flowers, so oh, I'm gonna get more weight, you know, overdo it. It's not always about yield, it's about quality, right? And that comes down to growing, and that makes the extraction. So you get what you put in when it comes to the extraction process. If you put in, a lot of guys think, oh, I'm gonna turn this shit into fucking gold. Well, there's processes we can with, like, you know, distillate and stuff like that we can turn. But when it comes to making extracts, you put shit in there, typically you're gonna get shit out of there, right? You know, so we put high quality, high grade things in our process. You know, we wanna have top notch. We don't wanna have shit ass things out there. We want to make sure it's top of the line, you know, and we got a few lines out there right now. We got our patience line that people are starting to become aware of, that is super affordable. We're trying to reflect that. We're not trying to gouge, we're trying to make concentrates affordable, because for a long time, I mean, $80 a gram is a lot, you know. We're hoping, you know, things will drop down to like 30 and 40 and 50, which is a lot better, right? And then we got our connoisseur, which is still pretty fair priced, right? You know, it reflects the cost, you know, processing, cost of the flower, all that kind of stuff goes into it.
I can
right?
assure you there's a lot of processing. There's a reason we're not showing you guys the processing, and that's not because we have anything to hide. We're waiting for the government to come up with some reasonable policy around FDA regulations.
Totally, we'd love to come in here in the next little while when things change and start showing our processes. No, we're not going to give all of our trade secrets away, but we got, we definitely.
Well, no, we're not talking trade secret. We're just saying when people are wondering, well, why aren't you showing this or that? I'm saying we're showing an oven and we're talking about the outcome. And this is a man that's won cups from coast to coast, and it's undeniably, the king of shatter. Thompson Caribou is out there with a few trophies, but they still don't got what the Beard Brothers got yet. Now again, I'm based on trophies. Now, people can say what they want, but competitions mean a lot to me, and I believe that a lot of that Bradley's competed in anyway, legitimate competitions where you can, it's things where you just get these cups, and again, it speaks for itself. Not to mention the thousands of patients that I've spoken to over the past 5 years that have been helped dynamically by the Beard Brothers, and even harmed when you were hurt last year. Your business was harmed by some bad people, and that was unfortunate. But you've rebounded back, and here we are. We're talking slabs of dabs. Is there anything else you want to fill us in on now? Parts per million. What should parts per million be?
It varies, right? I mean, you can get everyone tested, but we'd like to say that we're, under 100 parts, typically, but it varies. I mean, each strain, like when you make the extract, they hold butane in differently, right? So it's like baking, right? You got to look at every slab, and you got to look for those signs, certain types of bubbles when it's finished. So I'd like to say our shatter typically we're test back at around 100 parts per million and under, and I mean now they just passed it in Colorado where they're saying 50 parts and under was acceptable. Now they're saying 5,000. So things are jumping around. What is safe consumption? It's not about how the government looks at it or whatever, what's safe. We want to make sure we're getting the cleanest product out there. You do degrade terps, you do this, you do that, but I think cleanliness over everything is the most important thing, because
100%. On that note of cleanliness, once again, look around this lab. Now, people think labs should be some big fancy thing. A lab should be nothing more than clean, responsibly organized, and properly managed. Now, we're not filming the other part of the lab by design, but if you guys seen that, it's no different. It's properly organized, and this goes back to other videos we've shown and videos I've shown over the years of a proper grow room or a proper facility. No matter what you're doing, extracts, growing, making oil, whatever, it needs to be done in a clean environment. In this case, on such a large scale, I mean, geez, you got how many slabs you got going here? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh yeah, I can fit. That's a 7 cubic foot Cross International oven. So it.
Shout out to Cross. I love you guys.
International, yeah. We can put a lot in there, a lot of medicine, right? We different processes. We're processing other patients' material that they want for stuff, right? So there's lots of different requests we get, right? So we typically have lower end to higher end in our oven at most times, right? Not lower end, but just a different type of product. People that just want their own meds and this and that, right? So.
This is huge, because again, patients do not understand that. I never understood the color at first. When I went to Ontario, I seen there was a lot of dark colored shatter, and I thought, I don't know what to make of this. And now I've learned that now it makes the most sense now that it's been explained to me by Bradley.
Well, it
makes the most sense to trichome.
It's like close your eyes and I'll give you a darker slab versus a light slab, and you can't look at the color and tell me what you think's better.
Right. No,
right?
This is true.
Right? You could put like, this for a Kush. This is a pink Kush. This grower finished their flower like on point. This is a beautiful slab. Yeah, it's definitely. You guys got to remember too that we're still fighting for our rights with doing extractions, right? So I mean, this is under license and stuff like that, right? It's under ACMPR now, MMAR, right? So as things move forward, obviously we're going to be building more state-of-the-art facilities, right? We got to keep things on the hush-hush. We don't know how things are going to. Hopefully we're going to get things regulated, and we're going to be pushing back, and all concentrates, will be able to be used in any type of
It should be. R.V. Smith said that we can use cannabis in all of its forms. So here's cannabis in all of its forms, but then they come out and they say, but butane, but they blanket ban. And it's a regulation, it's not a law, so it's going to be interesting to see how law enforcement will even try to enforce any sort of thing. Now that's some crumble of some sort.
Yeah, this would be a wax, so this is, a shatter that we would consider we've turned it to this product because we have people that really love their waxes, super flavorful, super smooth. This is lemon jack, super great, good terp profile. A lot of people prefer wax over the shatter. Everyone has their preference, right? So we purposely, you know, are finishing this in a wax form because of a couple clients that want the wax, right?
There you go.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I mean, this is kind of, hey guys, this is a little brief on Beard Bros Lab. So
we got a lot more coming because this is our first time even being in here. It's been years. Bradley and I have known each other, and we've never been in that lab. We have never filmed it, and we're still not willing to film certain aspects of it. But when he tells me he wants to get something out there, most importantly, if you want to know if the Beard Brothers are back, I can tell you they're back. Yeah. And I've got their back, and I believe that Canada and the patients have their back because they had ours during our fight. And you can never forget where you came from, and I can't express that enough. I say this in a lot of videos, but this is a prime example because I remember last year watching this man fight and struggle to keep his company alive, and here he is back on his feet, ready to take on the world.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's not like we left. We were just assessing how we were going to work in this industry. You know, we came in with a lot of fire and a lot of passion, and things kind of went array. You know, there's people we thought were good ended up being fakes, and a lot of shit went on, you know. So we just, you know, I guess we could say, you know, I was kind of heartbroken a little bit to see that when you extend your hand to help people and you wear your heart on your sleeve, that you can get trampled on. So, you know, the most important thing is, you know, we got to work together in a community. You got to work with people you know you can trust. And, you know, yeah, just keep pushing, keep moving forward. I mean, that's all we can do. This is, you know, I consider not a war, but it's a fight. It's a fight for our rights. It's a fight for doing something we believe in. I'm in this because I believe in it. I'm not just, you know, trying to flip shatter slabs and make a huge amount of money. It's about because I believe in the medicine, believe in the product.
And there's also a dab culture. I
yeah.
mean, this isn't just BC. This is
worldwide.
This is worldwide. I mean, honestly, the first thing I got when I was in Australia was dabs. You know, we were looked after. So either way, the dab culture isn't going anywhere. They're not going to be able to kill it. So how do we find our way to work within it is what's going to come next. And during that transition, during that time, most importantly, where can patients find you, Brad? Right now, they want to be able to get a hold of some fire, get a hold of some of the slabs, whatever.
Well, we're in a few dispensaries. We're in Karuna, located in Vancouver. We do a lot of work with Herbal Dispatch, they're an online dispensary in Vancouver. Obviously, we have Beard Brothers Society. It's in Victoria. Beardbros.ca. We have our own online website. You know, that's kind of a different other. You know, we're in lots of parts of the country, right? So you just got to kind of look out for us, and we're going to start expanding more and more and try to have our medicine and our quality product in as much shops as we can, because I believe in that. People should be getting quality. Not to say there's not a lot of quality out there already, but we pride in quality, and I can't emphasize enough that it's quality, and that means clean environments to work in, you know, the right products going in, the right processes, safety, you know, getting out there, being a part of the culture. So you're going to see us at a lot of events in 2018. We're going to the Mom Cup. We're going to be rocking the Canada Cup. We're going to be doing 420 in Vancouver and Toronto. You know, whatever else is going to kind of happen and kind of go with the flow this year, right? So
it's going to be a good year. 2018, it's a breakout year. We don't know what's going to happen, but my friends, stay tuned to Cannabis in Canada. Join the mission at cannabisincanada.net. Get involved with the Beard Brothers Collective. Whoever you feel comfortable with, just get involved with the culture, because it's our culture to take back, and it's our way to legalize.
Yeah.
And just because the government's laid down their plan doesn't mean that it's going to be so. On that note, this is Jason Wilcox signing out of another fantabulous show. Bradley, thank you for having...
Yeah, man. Look forward to part 2, guys. We'll be getting more footage in here. Thanks a lot for all the viewers, and we'll hope we see you out there.
All right. Peace out, everybody.